You got guys that punch hard and hit hard, and you got guys that come out and win a few rounds. But nothing really was tough.
Okay, a lot of people are saying that Usyk heavyweight run isn't a lot of fighters at heavyweight, of course, because he only fought, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fighters at heavyweight.
So again, I think Oleksandr Usyk is an exceptional fighter, but you need to match him with someone that can actually match his work rate. Okay, and for me, Andrew Cabell can match his work rate. He's going to go to the body. He's going to follow a game plan.
Floyd Mayweather isn't holding back when it comes to the praise Oleksandr Usyk has been receiving. He thinks fans are too quick to label fighters as legends without looking at the full story. In Floyd's opinion, Usyk doesn't measure up. Mayweather firmly believes he's the greatest boxer of all time, past or present. He points out that he retired undefeated, won titles in multiple weight classes, and dominated top-level competition throughout his career. While many fans see Usyk as one of the all-time greats, Floyd disagrees. He respects Usyk's skills, but says the fighters Usyk has beaten don't compare to the level of opponents he faced. To Floyd, Usyk is being overhyped and simply doesn't belong in the same conversation when it comes to legacy or greatness.
There's no fighter that will ever be better than me. There's no fighter that wasn't better than me before me or after me or when I'm long gone. I'm the best.
Critics like Showbiz the Adult have raised some tough questions about the praise Oleksandr Usyk is receiving. While many fans call him an all-time great for his success in the heavyweight division, Showbiz believes we need to take a closer look at who he's actually beaten. The main issue: the quality of Usyk's opponents. If most of them weren't top-tier fighters or past their prime, then those wins may not mean as much as people think. Outside of Tyson Fury, who is often seen as a true elite, Usyk's competition hasn't included many legends. Because of that, critics argue it's too soon to put Usyk in the same category as greats like Muhammad Ali or Evander Holyfield.
That Usyk heavyweight run isn't a lot of fighters at heavyweight, of course, because he only fought, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fighters at heavyweight. But they saying that it's full of quality. Right? I want you to understand, full of quality. Witherspoon isn't an all-time great heavyweight. His brother, Tim Witherspoon, you can argue. But Chance Witherspoon, no. Derek Chisora is not an all-time great heavyweight. He's not. He's a fantastic competitor, but if you look at who he fought and look at who he lost to, Chisora is not an all-time great heavyweight. He's not. Dubois is not yet an all-time great heavyweight. Look at who he fought, who he struggled with, who he lost to. Dubois is not an all-time great heavyweight. So we're left with, when you say quality, we're left with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Anthony AJ Joshua. Now, if you guys think that AJ is an all-time great heavyweight, you can. I can understand that. I definitely can. There's an argument to be made. But Anthony Joshua, when you think about him and a lot of ops from other great heavyweights, Anthony Joshua lost to the likes of Ruiz, been knocked out by Ruiz, was knocked out by Dubois. Anthony Joshua, I'm not sure if you would consider him an all-time great heavyweight, but you can make an argument. Tyson Fury definitely can. So beating Tyson Fury twice is really Usyk's claim to fame. It's his thing.
Another viewpoint from boxing analysts is that Usyk's true strength lies in pound-for-pound rankings, not in all-time heavyweight status. They see him as a highly skilled technician, known for his sharp footwork, strong defense, and high ring IQ, making him one of today's standout fighters. However, these experts stop short of calling him a heavyweight legend. In their eyes, Usyk's greatness comes from his unique style and ability to adapt, rather than beating iconic opponents from boxing history. So while he's clearly among the best boxers currently active, his place alongside the sport's all-time greats remains up for debate.
Talk about Usyk. His performance was mwah. Okay, that's number one. And many of you say, well, Usyk is a top 10 all-time great heavyweight. I don't agree. Because Usyk has only had like 7 heavyweight fights. It's very stacked within those 7 fights. But really, it's hard to put him past people who's had 30 plus, 40 plus fights and just had a great all-time career at heavyweight. But what I can say is that Oleksandr Usyk is one of the greatest fighters, pound for pound, ever. And I put him on my Mount Rushmore today. So I don't have him as an all-time great heavyweight, but I do have him as an all-time great pound for pound fighter. And where do I put him there? Pretty damn high.
Critics have also noted that Usyk's dominance may not be due to being unbeatable, but rather because many of his opponents failed to use smart strategies. Some fighters had rematches with him and still couldn't make the right adjustments. Analysts suggest that boxers like Michael Hunter or Joe Joyce, who have better ring awareness and a more thoughtful approach, might have challenged Usyk more effectively. The key, they argue, is matching Usyk's movement and timing, skills that most heavyweights don't focus on enough. Instead, many stepped into the ring without a solid game plan, which made Usyk's job much easier.
A bit harsh on Daniel Dubois after the fight. And I actually think I'm, being fair in being a bit harsh on him. I think Daniel Dubois is an exceptional fighter, but there is something, where it's a confidence thing. And I think Oleksandr Usyk, give him a lot of credit. His jab looked exceptional on Saturday. And really that first, jab that landed on Daniel Dubois, it snapped his head back, and it was a powerful jab. It actually reminded me of Artur Beterbiev's jab when it's, when he really snaps it. And it was obviously a very powerful shot. So I think Daniel Dubois, I think he was confused by Usyk, and I think, he just looked so discouraged to me. Again, take nothing away from Oleksandr Usyk. I thought it was an exceptional performance. And to be honest, he really didn't even get out of second gear. And he didn't even need to. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, talk about what he's going to do next. In my opinion, really, there's only one fight that I would actually want to see. For me, that's Adrian Caballel. I think Adrian Caballel is someone that, number one, knows how to go to the body. I think if Oleksandr Usyk does have a weakness, it is the body. I think Adrian Caballel can follow a disciplined game plan. I think he's had a good string of wins. And I think his stamina is very good as well. I think Oleksandr Usyk is, winning a lot of these fights based on his speed, his stamina, and his footwork. These big heavyweights like Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they cannot live with the pace that Usyk is setting. I mean, Daniel Dubois was knackered after 3 rounds in that fight. Okay, so they can't live with the pace. So again, I think Oleksandr Usyk is an exceptional fighter, but you need to match him with someone that can actually match his work rate. Okay, and for me, Adrian Caballel can match his work rate. He's going to go to the body. He's going to follow a game plan.
Showbiz stresses that it's too early to rank Usyk alongside legends like Muhammad Ali and Evander Holyfield. He believes Usyk hasn't built the kind of resume needed to be in that elite group. For Showbiz, what truly defines a boxing great isn't just skill, it's the level of opponents they've beaten. That he points out that even Usyk's top 5 wins wouldn't match the top 5 on Ali or Holyfield's list. This highlights an important difference. Being the best of your time is one thing, but being one of the best of all time is a much higher standard.
I cannot put that over the likes of Evander the Real Deal Holyfield fighting and beating the likes of Riddick Bowe, beating the likes of George Foreman. When he beat George Foreman was a killer. Beating George Foreman, beating the likes of Iron Mike Tyson. He was a huge underdog there. Beating the likes of Larry Holmes, beating Michael Moorer, Evander beating Michael Dokes, as you guys know who that is and how good of a fighter he was. Evander the Real Deal Holyfield has a different brain. I cannot put Usyk with his 5 heavyweight opponents over heavyweights, great heavyweights, who made careers at heavyweight. We all know what Muhammad Ali did. Muhammad Ali beat the who's who of heavyweight greats. He fought them all and he beat them, okay? But then you have guys like Larry Holmes who have beaten the Ernie Shavers, who have beaten the Ken Nortons. You have the likes of Jack Johnson, which when you look at his box rec, you see his record and you don't know what he had to overcome to be so great.
When Daniel Dubois faced off against Usyk, fans anticipated a tough, competitive match. But after the fight, many analysts pointed out major weaknesses in Dubois's performance. His footwork was off, he didn't move his head much, and he struggled to keep consistent pressure on Usyk. While Usyk won convincingly, some experts questioned whether it was truly a display of Usyk's brilliance, or just a case of Dubois underperforming. The lackluster showing by Dubois reignited concerns about the quality of opponents Usyk has been facing and whether they're really pushing him to his limits.
Dubois, and we were willing him on being a London boy and stuff like that. I thought he won the first round. I thought Usyk won the second round, but I thought there was arguments for certainly giving Dubois the third round, but you could see even if he was in the fight, things were starting to change after the second round. Usyk just had that extra little bit of class about him.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have him for any rounds. I just thought Usyk was so dominant, and that jab. And I'm not no boxing expert. I'm a casual. I'm a heavyweight casual. I just love to see big heavyweights box each other and knockouts. But I just feel like Usyk just was not even out of second gear. Like
didn't need to be.
He didn't need to be. He just had him on that jab, and he just kept plowing away. And whenever Dubois tried to land like a big shot, like one of those big punches that you talk about,